After leaving the Temple of Truth, Sami felt a heavy burden on his shoulders. The truth he learned made facing the eternal shadow more complicated than he imagined. It was no longer just about defeating an enemy, but finding a way to maintain the balance between light and darkness without destroying either one. Sami sat with his team near a small cave, away from any threat. Fatigue was evident on everyone, but determination filled their eyes. The bird spoke in a serious voice. "Sami, what did the temple tell you? What did you learn there?" Sami sighed and replied, "The eternal shadow is not just an enemy. It's part of the balance that maintains the existence of worlds. If we destroy it entirely, we might destroy everything with it." The crystal tiger responded with concern. "If that's true, what should we do? We can't let it destroy the worlds, but it also can't stay." The mysterious guardian, who had been watching silently, said, "The only solution is to find a way to control the eternal shadow and contain it, not destroy it. But that means a great sacrifice." Sami looked at her and said firmly, "Whatever the sacrifice, I will make it. I won't let this darkness engulf everything." The team decided to head to the stronghold of the eternal shadow at the heart of the shadow world. The place was a huge palace submerged in dense darkness, surrounded by tormented souls and shadow guards. The guardian said, "To enter this palace, we need to combine the power of the four stones. But it's not enough. There must be a direct link between you and the eternal shadow. It expects your arrival, and it will be ready." Sami replied, "If it expects me, that's better. I'll confront it directly and find out how to stop it." As they approached the palace, the ground began to shake, and huge shadow creatures appeared, trying to stop them. Sami led his team in a fierce battle, using the power of the four stones to destroy the creatures they faced. Attacks came from every direction. The crystal tiger pounced on one of the creatures with astonishing strength while the bird flew high, releasing radiant energy on the enemies. As for Sami, he was at the heart of the battle, unleashing massive waves of energy to clear the path toward the palace. The bird, panting, said, "Their numbers are endless. Is this another test?" Sami replied, "No, it's an attempt to weaken us before we reach the eternal shadow. Don't stop. We're close." When they reached the palace gate, the place pulsed with terrifying energy. The walls were filled with screaming faces, as if the palace itself was made of tortured souls. The guardian cautiously said, "This is the place where everything will be decided. But remember, every step inside the palace will be a battle in itself." The team entered cautiously and soon found themselves in corridors filled with puzzles and traps. The walls moved as if the palace was trying to swallow them. After overcoming several obstacles, they reached a vast, dark hall. In its center, the eternal shadow appeared in its full form for the first time. It was gigantic, with massive black wings and eyes glowing with a terrifying red color. It spoke with a voice that filled the place. "Finally, you have arrived, Sami. I knew you couldn't resist destiny." Sami replied bravely, "Destiny is what we make it, not what you impose on us. I'm here to put an end to your darkness." The eternal shadow laughed and said, "You don't understand anything. I'm not your enemy. I'm part of you. Every strength you've used so far comes from me. Do you think you can survive without my darkness?" The battle between Sami and the eternal shadow began. Each unleashed immense energy, shaking the entire palace. The four stones began to glow with unprecedented power, as if preparing to merge. The guardian said with a trembling voice, "Sami, this is the moment. You must use the stone's power to bind the eternal shadow inside your heart. But if you do that, you won't be as you were. You will become the balance." Sami hesitated for a moment, but recalled all the souls he lost and all the friends who sacrificed for him. He said resolutely, "If this is the solution, then I will do it." Sami raised his hands and released the energy of the four stones towards the eternal shadow. The shadow began to scream, but it wasn't disappearing. Instead, it started merging with Sami. The eternal shadow said, "Do you think you can control me? I'm a part of you now." Sami replied with a voice full of determination, "I won't let you take control. I will be the balance that protects the worlds." When the process ended, Sami collapsed on the ground, his eyes now glowing with two different colors, one representing light and the other darkness. Sami slowly awoke, finding his friends beside him. The bird asked, Has everything ended?" Sami replied calmly but strongly, "The first part is over. The eternal shadow is now a part of me, but the balance is fragile. We must protect this balance from any new threat." Everyone looked at each other knowing that although the great battle had ended, their journey was not yet over. Stay tuned for the next part, where a new phase in Sami and his friend's journey begins.